Before the tragic events that would forever change the lives of those in Star City, West Virginia, there was a time of innocence and joy. Skylar Neese, Rachel Schoaf, and Shelia Eddy were the epitome of what seemed to be the perfect friendship. They were inseparable, sharing laughs, secrets, and dreams of the future. Skylar, with her infectious smile, was often the glue that held their trio together. She was known for her kindness and her ability to make everyone feel included. The three girls spent countless hours together, from sleepovers filled with whispered confessions to carefree afternoons exploring their small town. To those who knew them, they were more like sisters than friends. Their bond appeared unbreakable, a testament to the strength of youthful connections. But as with many friendships, beneath the surface, there were cracks that no one else could see. Jealousies, insecurities, and hidden resentments began to fester. Skylar, Rachel, and Shelia's friendship, once a source of joy and comfort, slowly started to unravel. Little did anyone know, the seemingly perfect friendship was about to take a dark and irreversible turn. The events that would follow would shock the community and leave an indelible mark on all who knew them. The story of Skylar Neese and her friends serves as a haunting reminder of how quickly things can change. Skylar Neese was a 16-year-old girl who went missing on July 6, 2012. Her disappearance shocked the community and led to a massive search effort. Skylar was a bright young girl with a promising future ahead of her. She was known for her infectious smile and her ability to light up any room she entered. On the night of her disappearance, she had sneaked out of her house to meet with friends, something she had done before without any issues. However, this night was different. As the hours turned into days, and days into weeks, the community of Star City, West Virginia, was gripped with fear and anxiety. Where could Skylar be? What had happened to her? Every lead, every clue was followed, but the answers remained elusive. Skylar's parents, Dave and Mary Neese, were tireless in their search, never giving up hope that their daughter would return home safely. They organized search parties, distributed flyers, and appeared on the national television to plead for any information that could lead to Skylar's whereabouts. The police worked around the clock, investigating every possible angle, but the case seemed to be at a standstill. It was as if Skylar had vanished into thin air. The community rallied together, showing an outpouring of support for the Neese family, but the sense of dread was palpable. Months went by with no significant breakthroughs. But then, in January 2013, a shocking revelation came to light. Skylar's two best friends, Rachel Schoaf and Shelia Eddy, confessed to having planned and carried out Skylar's murder. They had lured her out under the guise of a late-night hangout, driven her to a remote location, and brutally attacked her. The motive? A chilling desire to get rid of Skylar, as they felt she knew too much about their personal lives and secrets. The news of their involvement sent shockwaves through the community, as these were girls who had been considered close friends of Skylar. The tragic story of Skylar Neese serves as a heart-wrenching reminder of the complexities of human relationships and the darkness that can sometimes lurk beneath the surface. Her memory lives on, not just as a cautionary tale, but as a testament to the love and determination of a community that came together in the face of unimaginable tragedy. The police started investigating Skylar's disappearance by interviewing friends, family, and anyone who might have seen or heard something unusual on the night of July 6, 2012. The initial focus was on piecing together Skylar's last known movements and identifying who she had been with that fateful night. Skylar's parents provided the police with a list of her closest friends, including Rachel Schoaf and Shelia Eddy. Both girls were brought in for questioning. Initially, they claimed to have no knowledge of Skylar's whereabouts and appeared to be just as distraught as everyone else. As the days turned into weeks, the police examined surveillance footage from the area around Skylar's home. They discovered grainy footage of a car pulling up near her house around midnight, on the night she disappeared. The car was identified as belonging to Shelia Eddy, but both Shelia and Rachel insisted they had dropped Skylar off at the end of the road, near her house, after their hangout. Despite their alibis, the police felt something was off. They started to dig deeper into the girls' stories, looking for inconsistencies. Digital forensics experts were brought in to analyze Skylar's social media accounts, text messages, and phone records. This led them to uncover a series of cryptic messages between Skylar, Rachel, and Shelia that hinted at underlying tensions. Skylar's parents continued to work tirelessly alongside the authorities, organizing search parties and keeping the media's attention on their daughter's case. Their hope was that someone, somewhere, might have seen or heard something that could break the case wide open. The community's support never wavered, but the sense of urgency grew with each passing day. For Skylar's parents and the investigators, the clock was ticking, and every second counted. They were determined to find Skylar and bring her home, no matter what it took. After months of relentless investigation, the case seemed to be at a standstill. But then, in a surprising turn of events, the police received an anonymous tip that would change everything. The tip led them to a wooded area just outside of town. The informant claimed to have seen something suspicious the night Skylar disappeared. Acting quickly, the police organized a search team to comb through the area. As they meticulously searched the dense forest, they stumbled upon a piece of evidence that sent chills down their spines. A shovel with traces of dirt and what appeared to be blood. The discovery heightened the urgency of their investigation. Forensic experts were called in to analyze the evidence, and their findings were conclusive. The blood matched Skylar's DNA. This critical piece of evidence brought a renewed sense of hope and determination to the investigators. They were now more convinced than ever that they were on the right track. With this newfound evidence, the police intensified their questioning of Rachel Schoaf and Shelia Eddy. The pressure mounted, and the weight of their lies began to take its toll. Rachel, unable to bear the guilt any longer, broke down during one of the interrogations. She confessed to the unthinkable. She and Shelia had planned and executed Skylar's murder. Rachel's confession was a bombshell that rocked the entire community. She revealed chilling details about the night of July 6, 2012, painting a gruesome picture of betrayal and cold-blooded murder. The police now had the breakthrough they needed, but the journey to justice was far from over. With the discovery of the blood-stained shovel, the walls began to close in on those responsible for Skylar Neese's disappearance. The mounting evidence was undeniable, and the pressure was unbearable. Rachel Schoaf, one of Skylar's closest friends, could no longer keep the dark secret hidden. During an intense interrogation session, Rachel's resolve shattered. Overcome with guilt and fear, she broke down and revealed the horrifying truth. Through tears and trembling words, she confessed to her role in Skylar's murder. The revelation was a devastating blow to everyone who knew Skylar, especially her grieving family. Rachel detailed how she and Shelia Eddy had meticulously planned the heinous act. On the night of July 6, 2012, they lured Skylar out under the guise of a late-night joyride, something they had done many times before. But this time, the ride had a sinister purpose. They drove to a secluded area, and under the cover of darkness, they attacked Skylar, their friend, with a cold and calculated brutality. The confession sent shockwaves through the community. How could two seemingly ordinary teenagers commit such a monstrous act? The betrayal was unfathomable. Skylar's parents, who had been holding on to a sliver of hope, were now faced with the brutal reality of their daughter's fate. Rachel's detailed account provided the police with the evidence they needed to arrest Shelia Eddy. The once inseparable trio was now torn apart by a crime that defied comprehension. Both girls were charged with first-degree murder, and the legal proceedings began. As the community grappled with the fallout, the quest for justice for Skylar Neese entered a new phase. The confessions had brought some answers, but the emotional scars they left behind would take a lifetime to heal. With Rachel Schoaf's confession, the police had enough evidence to move swiftly. The morning after the confession, Shelia Eddy was taken into custody. The community watched in stunned silence as the seemingly innocent teenager was led away in handcuffs. The shockwaves of the arrest reverberated through the small town, leaving everyone grappling with the horrifying details that were about to emerge. As the news broke, the media descended upon the town, and the public was inundated with the grim reality of what had transpired. Friends and neighbors who had once seen Rachel and Shelia as typical teenagers were now faced with the unimaginable truth of their actions. The once close-knit community was now shrouded in a cloud of disbelief and sorrow. The details of the case were laid bare during the initial court proceedings. Prosecutors painted a chilling picture of premeditation and betrayal, text messages, social media interactions, and Rachel's detailed confession provided a harrowing account of how Skylar's life was taken by those she trusted the most. The evidence was overwhelming, and the community struggled to reconcile the image of the girls they knew with the cold-blooded killers they had become. Skylar's parents, still reeling from the loss of their daughter, attended every court session, seeking justice for Skylar. Their presence was a poignant reminder of the human cost of this senseless act. The legal process was grueling, but it was a necessary step towards closure. The arrests marked a turning point in the case. The path to justice was now clearer, but the emotional toll on the community and Skylar's family was profound. The legal battles were just beginning, and the quest for justice would be long and arduous. The trial of the individuals responsible for Skylar's disappearance was highly publicized, and the community followed every detail closely. The courtroom was packed with journalists, family members, and curious onlookers, all eager to witness the unfolding of justice. The prosecution presented a compelling case, meticulously laying out the timeline of events and the overwhelming evidence against the defendants. Text messages, social media posts, and Rachel's confession painted a stark picture of premeditated betrayal and cold-blooded murder. Skylar's parents, Mary and Dave Neese, sat in the front row, their faces etched with grief and determination. They listened intently as the prosecution recounted the harrowing details of their daughter's final moments. The emotional weight of the testimony was palpable, and many in the courtroom were moved to tears. The defense attempted to portray Rachel and Sheila as misguided teenagers who had made a terrible mistake. They argued that the girls were influenced by peer pressure and a toxic friendship. However, the jury was unmoved by these arguments, as the evidence of premeditation and deceit was too strong to ignore. Witnesses were called to the stand, including friends and classmates who had interacted with Rachel, Sheila, and Skylar in the days leading up to the crime. Their testimonies provided further insight into the complex dynamics of the trio's relationship. As the trial progressed, the emotional toll on Skylar's family and the community became increasingly evident. The courtroom became a battleground for justice, with every piece of evidence and every testimony bringing them one step closer to the truth. In the closing arguments, the prosecution emphasized the calculated nature of the crime and the need for accountability. The defense, in a final plea for leniency, highlighted the defendant's youth and potential for rehabilitation. But the jury, after deliberating for several hours, returned with a verdict that reflected the gravity of the crime. The courtroom was silent as the jury filed back in, their expressions somber and resolute. Skylar's parents, Mary and Dave Neese, clutched each other's hands tightly, bracing for the moment that would finally bring some semblance of closure to their unimaginable ordeal. The judge asked if the jury had reached a verdict. With a nod, the four-person stood and began to speak. "We, the jury, find the defendants guilty of first-degree murder." The words hung in the air, heavy with finality. Gasps and muffled sobs echoed through the room as the weight of the verdict settled over everyone present. For Skylar's parents, the verdict was a bittersweet victory. Justice had been served, but nothing could bring their daughter back. They looked at the defendants, once familiar faces in their home, now strangers who had shattered their world. The pain of betrayal was still raw, but there was also a sense of relief that the legal battle was over. The judge proceeded to deliver the sentences. Rachel Schoaf and Sheila Eddy were each sentenced to life in prison. The courtroom watched as the two former friends were led away in handcuffs, their futures now defined by the choices they had made. Outside the courthouse, the community gathered, united in their grief and their support for the Neese family. Candles were lit, and a moment of silence was observed in memory of Skylar. Her story had touched so many lives, and the verdict served as a reminder of the importance of justice and the enduring strength of a community coming together in the face of tragedy. As the sun set on the courthouse steps, Mary and Dave Neese stood together, holding a photograph of Skylar. They promised to keep her memory alive and to continue advocating for other families who had experienced similar losses. Their journey of healing was just beginning, but they knew they would face it with the support of their community and the love they had for their daughter. The community of Star City, West Virginia, was forever changed by the tragic events that had unfolded. The shockwaves of Skylar Neese's murder reverberated through every home, school, and heart. The once tight-knit community now grappled with a mixture of grief, betrayal, and a desperate quest for understanding. Skylar's parents, Mary and Dave Neese, became pillars of strength and resilience. Determined to keep their daughter's memory alive, they established the Skylar Neese Foundation, dedicated to helping other families prevent and cope with similar tragedies. They spoke at schools and community centers, sharing Skylar's story and advocating for stronger safety measures for teenagers. The Neese family also worked closely with law enforcement to promote the importance of communication between parents and children. They emphasized the need for vigilance and the importance of recognizing the signs of troubled friendships and relationships. In the community, healing was a collective effort. Memorials and vigils were held regularly, bringing people together to share their grief and support one another. Skylar's friends and classmates found solace in creating art and music in her memory, using their talents to process their emotions and keep her spirit alive. The local high school implemented new programs aimed at fostering a safe and supportive environment. Counselors were made available to students, and peer support groups were established to encourage open dialogue about mental health and the impact of trauma. Despite the sorrow that lingered, there was a sense of unity and determination to honor Skylar's legacy. Her story served as a powerful reminder of the importance of kindness, vigilance, and community. The lessons learned from her life and untimely death inspired many to reach out to those in need and to cherish their loved ones even more deeply. As Mary and Dave Neese continued their advocacy work, they found strength in the love and support of their community. They knew that Skylar's light would never fade, and they vowed to keep her memory shining brightly through their efforts to help others. Skylar Neese's story left a profound mark on the community of Star City, West Virginia, and beyond. The tragedy of her untimely death became a catalyst for meaningful change, sparking initiatives aimed at preventing such horrors from ever happening again. In the years following her passing, the Skylar Neese Foundation grew in influence and reach. It became a beacon of hope and a vital resource for families and communities across the nation. The Foundation's programs focused on educating parents and teenagers about the dangers of troubled friendships, the importance of communication, and the need for vigilance in maintaining personal safety. Schools across the country adopted the Foundation's guidelines, implementing comprehensive safety measures and fostering environments where students felt supported and understood. These programs emphasized the significance of mental health, providing students with the tools they needed to navigate the complexities of their social lives. Skylar's legacy also inspired legislative changes. Policies were enacted to improve safety protocols in schools and communities, ensuring that early warning signs of distress and danger were not overlooked. The collaboration between the Neese family, law enforcement, and lawmakers created a robust framework designed to protect vulnerable individuals and prevent future tragedies. On a more personal level, Skylar's story touched countless hearts. People from all walks of life found inspiration in her memory, leading them to become more compassionate, more vigilant, and more committed to fostering safe and supportive environments. Acts of kindness and community outreach became more prevalent as individuals were moved to honor Skylar by making a positive difference in their own communities. Mary and Dave Neese continued their tireless advocacy work, driven by the love they held for their daughter. They traveled across the country, sharing Skylar's story and the lessons learned from it. Their resilience and dedication served as a powerful testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit. Through their efforts, Skylar's light continued to shine brightly. Her legacy was one of resilience, hope, and the transformative power of love and community. The changes born from her memory ensured that her life, though tragically cut short, had a lasting and meaningful impact on the world. We are reminded of the profound impact that one life can have on an entire community. Skylar's tragic death was a catalyst for change, a stark reminder of the importance of community vigilance and the relentless pursuit of justice. Her story underscores the critical need for awareness and open communication within our families, schools, and neighborhoods. It is a call to action for all of us to be more observant, more compassionate, and more proactive in ensuring the safety and well-being of those around us. Skylar Neese's legacy is a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the power of collective action. It is a legacy of hope, resilience, and the unwavering belief that together, we can make a difference. As we reflect on her story, let us carry forward the lessons learned and honor her memory by continuing to foster safe, supportive, and loving environments in our own communities. Let Skylar's light guide us toward a future where no one has to endure such a loss, and where every individual is valued and protected. Thank you for joining us in remembering Skylar Neese. Her story is a poignant reminder that even in the face of darkness, there's always hope, and from the deepest of tragedies, we can find the strength to create a better, safer world for all.